Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another 30 Minutes with Celine. My name is Celine Ross. Of course, I'm a Janome educator for Janome Canada. So today we are the last Tuesday of January. And we're going to wrap up the quilting demonstration. So I wanted to show you something a little bit different. Maybe you know, maybe you don't know. So I didn't want to show you the usual square that we know. You know, 9-patch, apple core, triangle, maybe there's another word. All these, you know, you all know that, okay? So I said, oh, let's take them to a new, more modern, or different, I should say, different square or square of quilting. And I mean, not the way you quilt it, we quilt, huh? But the way you cut it and you sew it. So let's switch the camera. Okay, and the camera is not well. Okay, now the camera is okay. So, as usual, I present you something in my panel, but I'm hiding something, okay? Maybe I'm too close. I'd like to learn how to adjust close and far with the software I have, not with the camera. Okay, so we call this one tilt. I guess a tilt square, tilt technique, I will say, okay? So this is not really centered, huh? And I like, it's different. You can create so many different things. And you know who I like, who I really follow me here in Montreal? Sorry, it is the two girls in Australia from the Sewing Revolution, Kim and Anne. So they invent rulers, okay? Two geniuses. And they help other company to provide others. So you see here, designed by the Sewing Revolution. So it's them again, they're everywhere, those girls. So I'm going to pull this out of my frame to show you. I didn't quilt it, I just assembled it because I want to show you my sewing, my piecing, okay? So what I did, I used their ruler and the instruction to sew those, the red part all the way around. Of course, I'm using my 100th anniversary of Janome because it's still, you know, I know we're not in 2021 anymore, but Janome sewing machine was founded on October the 16th, 1921. I'm still in my anniversary year. So I'm using this fabric, and also another reason is because it's three different color, and you see well with the white and the red and the dark, you see well, you know, if I top stitch here in red, you'll see it good. So I keep going. I still have a few more months to go with this unless Janome come out with another fabric, then I'll have a good sale of this 100 anniversary fabric. So this is what I use, and I like this because you scan this and it teaches you a lot, huh? So it's called Wonky Tilt Triangle, and this is what I use. And I just attach everything, sew everything at 1/4 of an inch all the way around. And I did my third corner. I said they're going to watch me if I'm doing good. Oof, so let me get closer. I don't know which mark you're gonna give me, but this is what I did. You know, it's so, and look how precise I am. Okay. all the way. Look at this. I hope I'm going to get an A. Huh? And I was in school with the nuns, and you know what? When they put an A, you deserve it, trust me. So you see, my mitered corner, perfect in the 4 corners. Okay? So this is a way, so you sew at 1/4 of an inch, of course. 1/4 of an inch with Janome. You know, for sure with all the video that Janome provide from all the educators from the States and the Canada and everywhere in the world, now I guess you know what Janome offers. So we have 1/4 of an inch, those 2 whole foot, 2 feet, I guess, 2 feet, one with a guide and the other one is exactly the same but without a guide. Okay, with the function. I'll go on the sewing machine after, and I have my famous HP needle plate with my famous HP foot. I use them also. The 3-1 I'm going to teach you, I use almost all of them except this here, but I'll tell you why. Then you have your Applique Flex with double walking foot, I should say, double or single, the single one, which is really 1/4 of an inch, exactly, you know, they're exactly the same, exactly the width from the right hand side to the center, they're really 1/4 of an inch, they're really built the same, but this one can be attached to, can be slide into the Applique Flex foot. Okay, and I also, with all the sample I'll show you, I can change the sole or the foot of my Applique Flex foot. So I'm going to use them all to show you what I did. I prepare a lot of things, but I'll do a little bit of sewing to teach you a little thing or to remind you, maybe you know it. Okay? Okay, so my first one is tilt. Okay, I'm going to put it aside. Tilt. This one is, the next one is wonky. No. Yeah, wonky. No, this one is, I'm sorry, wonky tilt triangle. While this one is, let me read it, I'll be sure, wonky log. Wonky log. Okay, I'm cleaning this thing. So what it is it's a tilt center. Okay, Janome, tilt center with the way they ask you to sew all the way around. So I didn't invent this, but you can do it. It's made by Joanna Marsh for Janome. It's on the website janome.com and it's called Wonky Log. Okay, I'll just show you again. But if you look at if you watch the replay of that 30-minute, you will catch it again. And this one is my template that I follow because you know it's easy to get lost with this. Not unfortunately, but the way you sew them, it's counterclockwise. It's different. It's so easy, and you can print the instruction. There's many pages, a lot of picture. You can use whatever fabric. I'll show you my other sample underneath. But this is something different. You know what? We don't like big. No, I shouldn't say this. Many ladies tells me in the comment or they email me saying we're getting old. I'm sorry, I'm in the gang, and we don't want to do a big project anymore. We want to do something small, you know, like lap quilt, baby quilt, or just something wall hanging, or just a placemat or table runner, hey, this is perfect. So today I'm not showing you how to add in between here. There's many, you can top stitch, you can use some part of your Horizon Link software or AccuTools software or embroidery editor some software to embroider some quilting parts. You can use ruler work. Janome offers you ruler work. So you're going, you see, there's the two options. Option number one is the full foot. It depends on the model of your machine. Whatever I show you and I teach you here, it's good for many models, no matter which machine I use. Okay? So don't think, she has the 15,000, I can do it with my machine. No. Most of the time you can do it. And if you have another machine, maybe you just need the attachment to do ruler work. So you see, it depends which machine you're using. You see the M7 here? Oh no, M7 has their own foot. But okay, 6700. Well, you use this. M7, 15,000. This what? It depends of your model, machine model. And I'm moving the camera, and I'm using and with this the rulers. Janome offers rulers, a ruler kit with different shape, the most popular shape that Janome choose for you. And the lady who's teaching you, because this comes with a CD, well, she's a pro, she's a real pro. Her name is, I don't remember. I don't remember, I'm sorry, I have to read it somewhere. So anyway, just to show you that here, what I didn't use the even foot, AccuFeed Flex. I didn't use this. I'm sewing cotton on cotton, so I didn't need it. But if I was using batting and many thicknesses, oh well, that's another story. Okay, I would use it. So I used one of these here. Okay, or the HP needle plate and foot. So you're going to say to me, so what do you want to do with this? Well, here's a sample with another color. Ta-da! This is what I did with it. Well, I shouldn't show you this right away. I should show you this one first. Okay, so you know, I'm teaching. I'm always sewing and teaching and all the time. So I do panel or sample to help my teaching. Okay, so here I took leftover or little piece of fabric to do the wonky log. You see, no, all print fabric. I can do nothing with the print fabric. You know, the design is already there. So can you tell that I did stitch in the ditch? Can you tell? Not possible. But I'm not lying. Here's my stitches. Stitch in the ditch. Okay? So how I did this, I embroidered, because people sometimes, by mistake, I will say when I go to dealers, by mistake, they keep my samples. So now they're a little bit shy to do it. So, stitch in the ditch. How I did this. I have cotton, batting, cotton. Before I just did the piecing, cotton and cotton. So the whole foot was perfect. But now on 3 layers, I want to end, you know, even at the bottom, on the sides. So I use the AccuFeed Flex foot, and I just change my sole for stitch in the ditch. Here you go. Whoa, stitch in, okay, sorry. So stitch in the ditch, look at this. How can you not go straight if you follow this? And the upper teeth, they're in metal, it's not the plastic, they're in metal. And the fabric, it brings the fabric, all the 3 layers together towards the back. My result, of course, here you see it's good, but on the other side, look how perfect it is. And then what I did, I just did 2, okay, the small and the one. I want to hold this one and I want to hold the bigger one, because then the bias holding all the sides. And then I told you that these are a help to teach how to use the stitches and the function of the machine. So look, not the bias is not a bias, it's a fake, because it's the fabric from the back that I folded twice. There's a fold here, okay, and I did a decorative stitch, okay. You know, there's so many options you can do while you're sewing. So I'm teaching how to use this quilting stitch, a different quilting stitch, another quilting stitch, and a 4th quilting stitch in the same panel. And how did I do this? Of course, I did not use the stitch in the ditch. I used, and now I have many layers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers together. I use the open toe sole or foot. Hey, how can you go wrong? If you don't look, yes, it's possible, but if you pay attention and you hold your fabric, so you see very well, and this is your guide. You're guiding here your bias inside of this opening. So this produces a perfect discovery panel, or technique panel, or stitch, should I say stitch book? Not stitch book, stitch panel. Okay, so here, stitch in the ditch and decorative quilting stitches. But, whoops, sorry, I hit the camera. But this one is a bit different. Am I okay? No, I'm not okay. Now I'm okay. So what I did here, so I sewed together with a 1/4 inch foot. I sew, and this one is sewn counterclockwise. And I said, well, if I did stitch in the ditch in the previous one, this one I'll do a 1/4 inch. So again, because I'm on many thicknesses, I use the same technique. So again, I said a 1/4 inch. I don't need that sole. I will use my 1/4 inch sole. Put the 2 together. It's easier when it's attached to the machine. I have my 1/4 inch sole here. Okay. OD. They all numbered, maybe not number, with a letter, okay? So, hey, again, how can you go wrong? No, I'm sorry, on the wrong side. Here, sorry. Okay? How can you go wrong if you go slow and you follow with the guide? So I did sashiko stitches. 2 different, you know, the 111, 3 long stitch. No, I'm sorry, my finger, oh yeah, my finger is here. And this one I did sculpture stitches, you know, that little balloon, and 1 stitch in between. Ball, stitch in between, pearl, or name it the way you want, okay? And of course, previously, on cotton and the batting, and the cotton and the batting, yeah, I'm right. I embroidered one embroidery from one of the Janome embroidery machine, tone on tone, just because it was plain in the center. And then, as usual, this time I did, I showed them previously quilting stitches. Now I'm going to show them applique stitches. Applique 1, another 1, another 1, and a different one. They're all different. Okay? And of course, as usual, I embroidered the backing. So you see, stitch in the ditch, I use a clear color. Here, I want to show it. So I use tone on tone. Same thread behind and on top. Well, I should say behind and on top. Okay? Second sample. Now, maybe some of you will scream. Maybe not, maybe. Okay, piecing looks good with all my leftover. I didn't put any batting here because I'm using it to teach how to quilt, believe it or not, with a serger. So my 3 panels are all sewn, yeah, I have the right word, with a serger. So I use 3 thread narrow. I have my 1/4 of an inch all the way, all the time. So you sew, you press, you sew, you press, you sew, you press, you press. I press out towards the outside, okay? And how did I finish this? Rolled hem with my machine. So any Janome serger, but of course lately I'm with the 80-2000D, yeah? Okay, but any Janome machine, it's a 2-thread wrap. And look, so panel number, square number 1, square number 2, with all leftover, but color coordinated. Okay, and square number 3. This one is familiar to you. So you see, with serger, still quilting. Maybe not the way that those real quilter, but you know, it's to show something else. This is very long. I don't have enough room to show you, but this is this could be a bed scarf, this could be a table runner, this could be if you split them, if you separate them, you can have just cushion or discovery panel. Then the third one that I want to show you, hold on, I have to read it because twisted square. It's from So Easy. The company is So Easy. Web demo. I love that. This is, I love so much now. You scan your code and then you watch the demo. Oh, I love this. Hey, we're 2022, eh? And this is the template. It's a ruler. It is a template. But this is to prove you how easy and how nice the job is with curves. So this time here I used HP foot with HP plate, HP foot. And I put batting just to show you, but I attached them only with the foot and the plate. I didn't need HP2, but for quilting, I will need HP2 because I'll have many layers, okay? So they're both the same, exactly the same, but one with the feed dogs on top. A single feed dog in metal, it's just perfect. Those, it's all perfect. I can't say nothing else than, okay? And look at the nice panel that I have. Now you will say to me, what we're going to do with this? What is this for? Aha! Aha! Look at my cushion. It's not a cushion, it's a cushion cover. Yeah, it's because it's a cushion cover. So I didn't square it. I want to show you how good I was. No, I'm teasing. I want to use it all the way. Okay? So what I did is I stipple inside. This is quilting. And I top stitch also the others. You know, when it's a print, I didn't do anything. And when it was plain, I did something else. So look at this. You know, you put this in your dining room and bedroom, dining room, I mean family room, okay? Or in your bedroom. Hey, everybody, you give this as a gift. It's impossible people don't like it. It's you say, how did you do this? But look how flat it is. If you go slow. Haha. Then I'm going to move this here. I want to show you a technique. So I'm using this panel to show horizon link. You see all the squares, the red square has a design inside. I show people how to use horizon link or Applique tools or embroidery editor. So I had to sew before, and this is what I want to show you today. One little function on the machine. I'm using the 15,000. Okay, 15,000, and I want to do, let's say, any of the sewing, but this time I'm going to do 9 patch because I want the same length. I want to put in memory the length of my sewing. So I'm using these square. I'm ready, and I want to sew them together. I don't want to come and lift my finger and ask to stop it to start. Start is okay, but stop. So I want to use the memory function. Okay. So I'm going in my t-shirts. If I can put the camera, I don't want you to see the blinking too much. Okay. So, okay. T-shirt, patchwork. And I prefer to use, you know, the one with the lock stitch without anything here, just a straight stitch. Well, straight stitch is, I have to stop it sometimes. I'll have to lock the end in the beginning. Here, for what I'm doing, I don't need, you know, I don't need the reverse at the back and in the front. And I'm using the lock stitch. I'm okay. It tells me, hey, use O foot. No problem. But if I ask my machine, if I press this button, it's going to tell me, hey, you have to use your Applique flex foot. Okay? But it's not what I'm doing. So I'm going to use the O foot. Because I want to program, to keep in memory a stitch length. So, when I choose the foot, the stitch, I'm sorry. When I use the stitch, the machine knows exactly, give me the right needle position, and it gives me the right stitch length. And another thing, it depends on your fabric. You see, you can have a center needle position and the left needle position, but you still have room to move it a little bit, just in case of your fabric is or too thick or too thin, or with batting or no batting. So you still have room. So, I'm missing a piece. It's on the floor. Okay. So, right sides together. Okay. And I'm saying, I'm starting in my fabric. I'm going to back up a bit. I want you to see. Okay. So don't forget, you see, my machine tells me at the end, touch reverse button, not the lock stitch button. And we're tempted, because it's a lock stitch, we're tempted to touch the lock stitch, but now I have to touch the reverse. So start. Do you know, look at this. Oh, it doesn't go fast. Oh, why? Stitch by stitch. Look at this. So it won't be 30 minutes, it'll be 40 minutes, the demo. But if I let go, it goes faster. So the lock stitch button, the start stop button, as long as you hold it, the machine will go slow. Now my machine cut my thread, and as usual, I'm going to take this thread in the thread holder. Hey, look how, oops, no, you're here. Look how clean it is. My beginning, my end is thread cutter. And why it is so clean here? Because of my thread holder. You know what? Don't put it here and don't put it there. Hey, it's made for this. Use it. You'll have a clean work all the time. Okay? And then I have another piece of fabric that I lost again. Ah, here. Okay? And this time, and I choose white thread because I want you to see good. I didn't choose red. Okay, and this time I won't do too much. So look, the machine said to me, you want to do the same stitch length or a different one? No, I want to do the same stitch length. So this time, I'm going to put my foot down because I really want to start in the fabric. You don't sew before the fabric. I see it sometimes. And I want you to see real good. So one hand here. Okay, yeah. One hand here. And I'm just going to say to my machine, start. And I remove my hand. Look at this. It's going to do the whole work for me. Lock stitch. Cut the thread. Lift the foot. Look at this. Isn't it perfect? Right at the end, not outside the fabric, right at the end. So imagine, it's, how should I say, it'll save you time, and just not just save you time, you appreciate it. You appreciate the fact that you say, oh, I put so many $1,000 on my machine, but she's doing whatever I want. So, of course, those machines are expensive. They worth every penny. So every time you want to add, I will have, of course, I do all my little length. And then after, I have to sew this together. Huh? Let me hold this higher. Okay, so you see, then you have to sew this together to have a 9 patch. So this time you say to your machine, you see you have a little French course here. So if you want the same length, you just start to sew. But now this time I want to sew the opposite, the 3 squares together. I would say, no, I want a different length. Okay? So you do the first one and all the others are the same. It'll keep in memory the length that you're asking. Okay, I come back on my face. So, okay, so you learn 3 different shape of, I'll tell you, tilt, wonky, and twisted. So it's just different. It's just a reminder. I'm sure you can do it. And I hope you're going to practice. You have all these tools, these not magic tools, they're useful tools. Enjoy them all. Next week, we're in the month of love. It's my birthday not next week, but during that month. So it's a nice month, of course. So we'll change subject. Janome came with another team, so you'll see. Next week we'll talk about something else. I'll show you something else, okay? So thank you for watching, everybody. I wish you a good week of practicing whatever I taught you today. So have a good week, everybody. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, I read and I answer all your comments one by one. Bye-bye, everybody.